I'm really excited. Whoa, this light is really bright. Babe, can you like face it another way maybe? Yeah, that's better. I don't like to be like okay. So I'm really excited that you guys are all on here. I was looking forward to this all day. This is our first team call in a while. So I really am glad that we can get together and share some really great tips that you're going to hear in a little bit. But I kind of wanted to run down and kind of talk about May a little bit. The first things first, is that we've had a lot of people. I mean, April was really tough for some people, but I feel like the momentum is changing and people are really putting themselves out there. And I'm seeing a lot of really great posts from you guys. And I'm seeing you guys like push each other, which is really cool. And just kind of, help each other move forward and share things with people. So it's not like you're keeping stuff to yourself, but you're sharing what you're doing. You're helping our team. And I really appreciate that. I'm seeing it. And it's awesome. The momentum is like, we are running forward with this team. And this team is growing. It's insane, the growth that I've seen in the past year. And I'm just so proud of you all for jumping in, whether you're a new coach, a coach that's been with us for 2 years. It's just an exciting time. It's an exciting time because we have May and June. Getting into summer, people are wanting to do something, change something about their lives. Not only that, but we have Summit coming. It's our annual conference. I really, really, really want you guys to try to make it there if you have a ticket. If you have hit Success Starters and you can make it, you have a free ticket, please, please, please make every effort to get there because it will be life-changing for you and your business. There is so much that these events, that Beachbody puts into these events to make them game changers if you allow it to be. And it's a great time to meet other people that are doing the same thing you're doing because it's really hard when you're behind the screen and doing everything like behind closed doors. And sometimes you feel like you might be alone in this, but you're not. And when you go to events, you don't feel that way. You feel the connection. You feel the vibe. Everyone is so pumped. Everyone is so friendly. It is an awesome experience. So if you can get there, get there. If you are worried because of finances, but you do have a ticket, I'm telling you, invest in this. It will pay you back and then some. When people see your pictures from Summit, when people see you there, they're going to know you're the real deal. They're going to know that they're going to be hyped up and I've had coaches that have joined me just from seeing that experience that I experienced last summer and the summer before. So I encourage you, if you have a ticket, come. If you don't have a ticket, make sure you buy one for next year because you want to be there. They will go on sale. I think it might be the last day we're there. That's what happened last year. But we'll let you know. And once we post it in our team page, you got to get on it like immediately. And if you're a new coach, I'm going to need that. If you're a new coach, then you want to try to hit Success Starters and get Success Club your first 3 months of the business so you can earn a free ticket. Okay, so the vision for our team, I see us growing so much this year, more than any other year. I think that you guys, if you put in the effort now, you're going to see your business grow. And next year, you're going to look back and be like, holy cow, how did that happen? It's incredible what can happen in a year. So be here in a year, everyone. We always say that, be here in a year, because there's so much that can change in a year. If you're consistent, there's so much that can change in your business. Okay, a couple things that we're going to be doing in May. We are going to be running a boot camp. It's me and a couple of other leaders on this team. It's going to start on May 9th. So that's on Monday. It is not a new coach training, but it's for new coaches. It's for Emerald. It's for anyone that hasn't hit Diamond. It's for people that have not worked the business at all and want to jump into it. It's for people that may have worked the business a year ago and want to revive they want a revival. So this group is not substituting new coach training. So if you have a new coach joining this week, they should be going through new coach training, as well as they could jump into this group if they want to learn more. This group is pretty much like a practical application to what they need to know. We are going to go over the basic stuff like, why is Success Club so important? What does that do for your business? We're going to go over inviting and building the relationship conversations. So you can see true examples of what they look like and what we do. And then we're going to ask you to share your examples of what you're doing in that group. So we know that you guys are going out there and applying what you're learning. We want you guys to come out of that, it's 21 days. We want you guys to come out of that 21 days and be like, I get it. I see how it works. I see how easy it is just to talk to people and be myself and invite when it comes up in conversation, or invite someone that you have talked to recently. Like, how do you, a lot of people are like, they're always like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to start a conversation. We're going to talk about all of that and show you what we do. So I really think you guys should, if you're not in it, like your downline people on your team that need a boost or need to learn this, get in there. I want people to feel comfortable after this, that they can, if they just be consistent and they're doing these things, then they're going to be successful. So it's going to be fun. So get on that. If you're not, and we will open it in the next couple of days. So I will post a link in our team page. You are welcome to join. It's anyone in our downline is welcome. Okay. One other thing, and then we're going to get into the call. We are doing a Create Freedom live event on May 5th at 9:00. Here's the thing. Anyone's invited. Anyone can join. Anyone can invite someone to it that's thinking about coaching. Or if your upline is doing something or wants to do something, you can join theirs. Or if you want to do your own, that's totally fine. A lot of things in this business is trial and error. And that's how I grew. I tried something, figured it out, I would see if it would work. And if it didn't, then I would try something else the next month. Well, this month, since live video is like everyone's doing live video on Facebook. And if you haven't yet, you should try it, because you're going to get a lot of views. People are going to watch you. They may not like or comment, but you're going to get a lot of views and you get a further reach on Facebook. So in this event, it's going to be open to anyone. It's not private. We are going to do live videos every 10 minutes, where people can ask questions while we're on the live video. We're going to each have a topic, share a little bit about the business. So you're welcome to invite. We're going to do a giveaway at the end. I'm going to do a Nike sneaker giveaway, and they don't have to join to get the Nike sneakers, because that's against Beachbody compliance. So it's just in general, anyone that hops in, that comments and participates, they will go into a drawing. And the reason why we're doing this, usually we have the sneak peeks the second week, but we're doing it this week because we want people to join for this boot camp. We want people in this boot camp so they can really see how we're talking to people, how we interact with people, how we build relationships, how we invite, and how we close. And close, I mean, how do we get people into our challenge groups? So if you're struggling with any of those areas, get into this group when I open it, and you guys will learn a lot. And we're going to have different people sharing. So it's not just me sharing you my way. We're going to have people sharing their way. So because it's not one size fits all, obviously. Okay. So I'm really, really excited. I want to get into this because you're going to learn a lot. When I posted, May 5th. Yep. That is the Create Freedom group, 9:00. It's a Thursday night, this Thursday. And I will post a link to that in our team page tomorrow as well. Okay. So when I posted that, post, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, about struggles that you're having, I really wanted to open it up to everyone to participate in it. If you're having a struggle or it's something that you really haven't gotten a grasp on, please share. And we had so many people sharing, and I really, really appreciate that. And because I want to know how we can help each and every one of you. And I know a couple of the leaders decided to make a video in Dream Again and share with you a couple tips or how they got over certain things. But what I wanted to do is take the majority of what what you guys had said, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I wanted to kind of take them apart, and I asked certain leaders that were good in these areas to share a couple tips and what they have done to overcome this. So the 4 things that we're going to talk about is, first one is finding new people to join and invite them. Like, how do we expand our network? How do we do that? Number 2, how do we combat self-doubt and fears? Like, how do we change that mindset? And I think this is so key for new coaches to grasp from the get-go, because it's so hard to get into this business and hear no's and no's and no's and not let it affect you. So if you get that mindset and you get that confidence in the beginning, you are good. You're golden. Like, not to say you have to do personal development every day and you're still growing. But guys, if you have that, that's everything. That's everything. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about feeling salesy. If you feel salesy, then something's wrong. So we're going to share with you how not to feel that way, and putting yourself out there, and then getting organized time management. That's like my biggest thing. That's why I'm not talking about it, because I'm the worst. So we have someone talking about that as well. So I'm going to kick it off. First thing I want to say, though, is listen to the National Wake Up Call from today. Okay, and at the end, I'm going to talk a tiny bit about it and close out. But please, it's so crucial that you're listening to these calls. All right, so first up is Carrie Anderson. She's going to talk about finding new people, inviting. How does she do this in her daily, because she's very consistent. So she's going to talk about how she does this and share all her tips. Carrie, I'm unmuting you.
All right. So can you guys hear me? Because I have headphones on.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, I started coaching in January of last year. So it's been just over a year. And when I started, a lot of people, say that, well, I don't have a lot of friends on Facebook. And actually, I was one of those, was like a stalker. I had probably maybe 200, 250 like Facebook friends, and I really didn't stay in contact with a lot of people. Like, I would watch their posts, see what was going on. And so I said, oh my God, how the heck am I going to expand my network? That was one of the things that I started off at. And I started off in my warm market for sure. In my hometown, and there's some actually coaches from our team that, Michelle Robinson, Carrie Nelson, from my hometown. So, we had a lot of common friends, and there's actually some other coaches in my hometown. So I knew I had to expand beyond that. And what I just started doing was, initially I would go in to my Facebook page and I would go through people you may know. So I would go through the people you may know. And if I had, and I still do this from time to time, if I have 5 or more people in common with them, and when I clicked on their name, if I didn't see immediately any coaches that I knew, I would request friends. And at the beginning, I was really nervous to they said make friends with 3 to 5 people every single day. So at first, I would only click on 3 or 5 people. And we know how that works. Not everybody's going to accept the friend request. So then I started doing way more than that. So I probably would put out 20 requests every single day, and maybe 50%, maybe 25% would actually respond back yes. So as I was expanding my network there, I had more people than that would pop up as people I might know. So that's how I went through at the beginning. And I was really nervous at the beginning. I would think to myself, oh my gosh, Susie Smith, she I remember her back in high school and she didn't know me, but I remember her and I felt weird about requesting them. And then after a while, I just said, you know what, forget it. Like, I'm just going to hit request. And so what I try to do is, as people accepted my friend request and I would see that on my list, I would go immediately in there. I still do this. And I would either like or comment on something on their page. And I find that that kind of breaks the ice a little bit. I'm not going in and then immediately messaging them and say, hey, join my group. So I would like go in there, and I've actually rekindled a lot of friendships that I had from back in the day, whether I played sports with them or I've changed jobs so many different times. So it's people that I knew through mutual friends distantly. So I kind of rekindled friendships that way. Talking about our kids, talking about vacations, our families, all of that. So that was my biggest way. And I just checked before we got on the meeting. I probably now have just over a year later, I have just over 1,800 friends. So I went from 250 all the way up to 1,800. So that I stepped out of my comfort zone for sure, but I knew it was going to be moving my business forward. And I knew that from everything that I watched on YouTube, everything that I watched with all the personal development, national wake-up calls, you have to be consistent. So I've been consistent adding, or at least trying to add that, 3 to 5 people every single day. You always have to request more. And what I do is at the end of a week or every 2 weeks, when I can remember, I go back in and I delete all those friend requests, because you don't want to stand out there. And that's something that I didn't know at the beginning. And I went like maybe, I think it was right before Summit when I realized that you really shouldn't have that many friend requests. So it was like 6 months I had all these friend requests and I finally deleted them. But anyway, that was the biggest way that at the beginning I started expanding my network. Okay. And there's you know what I could do, Julie, I can go in and maybe, I don't know how to do it on my computer very well, but I know how to do it on my phone, and maybe I'll take some screenshots or a video or something like that. But that's super important so you don't end up in, the Facebook jail. I have gotten warnings like, do you know this person? I do a couple more. Oh, okay. So that's my big thing. And then another thing that we did last year, hold on, exit this out. Another thing that I remember we did, and I remember it was June of last year. We, as a big team, we did a mommy summer survival group. Okay. So free groups for me have been huge in adding value and expanding my network. I started off with doing a lot of free clean eating groups, and I got a lot of people where I would, sell Shakeology. There's like 5 packets or 7 packets I would mail out. And usually what I would do is charge $5 a packet, pair it up with my team with a clean eating group, and people, would buy Shakeology, and we would do a 5 or 7 day group. But then when we did the mommy summer survival group, we had so many people in there. It was kind of like a crazy group, but it took off and it kind of almost ran itself. And what I did, I probably added maybe I have the list still. I probably added maybe 50 people in there. I put out a bunch of posts. I was actually on vacation when I started inviting people, and I stayed in contact with those people. Every couple weeks, I would just pop in. How are you liking it? Did you see this post? And I formed the unconventional way that way. I didn't say, hey, how's your family? Or where are you going? What's going on? I just asked them, hey, what do you like in the group? Are there certain things you're looking for? And I just popped in, and people started watching. I continued to like and comment on their pages, on their posts, and it went on from there. So when the Mommy Summer Survival group on, those people started joining in some of my other groups. And Doreen and I partnered up in the fall, and we ran some phenomenal free groups that I'm still getting challengers from those groups. So for me, once I wanted to move beyond my warm market, it was those free groups that added value that then I'm still getting customers from. That's the second way that I add people. And then the third way is joining other groups out there. There's a lot of mommy groups out there, and I find that the mommy groups are filled with all MLM people. So I just have to be careful who I become friends with in there, because a lot of them are already trying to sell stuff, but have gotten a few challengers that way. And I've also been joining some other groups related to some things that are more in my interest level beyond just mommy groups. But I would say that's like the third most popular way that, or, you know, the third favorite way of adding new friends. So again, the biggest one was the free groups for me and staying in contact and forming on the back end. So free groups are just as important as your paid, because those people will come around. They will come around because you're adding value. You're adding value. So those are the three biggest ways, and don't be afraid to friend request people. The worst case they say is no.
That's right. So
you know. Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. Thank you, Carrie. Though that's great tips. And, you know, when she's saying like joining other groups, she, you know, and you'll see a lot of people in those other groups posting. Well, sometimes they're not allowed to post things like salesy things, but like if someone needs like health and fitness help, you'll see like 50 million Beachbody coaches in there, like posting underneath. She's building relationships with these people outside of that group. So if she's commenting under some, like when you are in those groups, you know people in there because of people liking and people commenting. So you have to be active in those groups. And then you obviously will friend request whoever you're most active with in that group. That's how you build relationships. That's how people, then they're watching your page once you're friends with them, and they're seeing you show up every day, and all of that comes into play. So important. So those are 3 great ways to build your network. So you could do that and apply that tonight, you know? Thank you, Carrie. Okay. So next up is Carla. I don't know where she is on here. Carla. I found you.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, guys. I actually didn't realize that we were speaking on this call tonight.
You muted yourself. Hold on, I got you.
Oh.
You're good.
Okay.
Oh.
So I thought I know, I'm so sorry. I was busy, and I thought it was like a live event we were talking about. So I was like, oh, shoot, we're doing this tonight. So that's okay. I can still talk and do it. But Weston's here, so he's watching a show, so it should be good. Can you guys hear the show, or does it sound okay?
No, you're good.
Okay. So my topic was about personal development, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for me, I'm just going to talk to you a bit about that, and as a new coach, and how it's so important, and why you're thinking you may not even know what it's about. Because when you think about personal development, the first thing that comes to your mind is a self-help book, and you don't need that because you are good. Right? So what you guys have to think about is this business, it's just you working this business. Yes, you have your team. Yes, you have like your coach, your upline, but it's really just you and your computer all the time. You messaging people. So even before you begin, why a vital behavior of personal development is so important is because you're going to get, you're going to be afraid to invite. You're going to be afraid to friend request. You're going to be afraid to kind of like, you're almost going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what to do in this business. So that's where you need to dig into a personal development book that speaks to you. So everyone in this business is going to have their own strengths, something that everyone does. We have our own strengths. So there's a lot of different books that might speak to you differently. So I've been reading, oh my gosh, I probably read one new book every 2 weeks. I'm doing a new one. And when I say that, don't think, oh my gosh, she reads like all the time. I actually listen to a lot of audio, so that's why I can power through books pretty quickly. And then the next thing is, and where I get my books from is I get them on Audible. You can get them at the library. You can find stuff on YouTube if you don't want to spend any money. And you can dig into personal development that way. So why is it important? It's important because like you can learn about time management if that's a struggle, because I suck at time management, like focusing. I actually have a sticker on my computer that says focus, because that little notification pops up and I'm like, oh shit, I got focus. So like that's like a book that I would read, like No Excuses by Brian Tracy, or a really good one that I just finished today is Take the Stairs by Rory Vaden. And I know we talk about the compound effect and the slight edge. And if you've read these books, you kind of already know the theme of them. It's small daily disciplines that you do every single day mount up. It's like this business is small, insignificant, it feels like, daily disciplines that if you don't do your personal development and if you don't work out and you don't do those things, you're not going to see that bank fill up. So you're not going to see your business bank fill up and you're not going to see your health bank fill up. So you need to pick a book that speaks to you. So again, like if it's excuses of not making time or you don't see the time, then you need to pick something like that. If it's, say you feel beat down because you've had so many no's, and believe me, the reason why I share, like, I've had a lot of no's is because sometimes when, like, I'm not joking, when like last year I would think, do these coaches not have any of the personal struggles I have? Like, do they not get the no's? How come they have this? And how come they have that many challengers? And how come they have that many, like, oh, Weston's joining us. So that's why sometimes I share, like, I get so many no's. I get lots of no's, polite no's. I've had people block me. And when you get those kind of things, you kind of feel beat down. So that's when you need to dig into a personal development book, like The Art of Free Groups. Oh, someone's talking about free groups. Carrie is. I would dig into, I think it's The Art of Procrastination, of Overcoming It, because we're all procrastinators in a way. So sometimes you have to dig into books like that, or a lot of girl positive ones are like the Girl Code, or I Am That Girl, or Jen Sincero is a really good one. I liked that one a lot last year. I'm a Badass, because it's all in your mind. Everything's in your mind. If you can actually unlock your mind and push through the fear, and a lot of these books are all kind of the same angle. Some of them are more directed towards certain things that you're needing help on. And I actually did a blog post because someone in the Champions page said, oh, what's the best personal development book and why? And then they never uploaded the file like they said they were going to. So I just went in and took what I liked and what I've read, and I put it on this blog post so I could share with you guys. And I posted in the team page. But anyway, there's tons and tons of books. And why, again, going back to why is so important in the beginning, because you build up that mental toughness early on, already knowing you're going to have those roadblocks, then you're able to see the bigger picture. So you have to go back and think of your why, and why is that why so important? Because you're going to get some people sometimes. So I don't know, does that kind of answer the question, or what? Do you have a question for me, maybe anyone that I can help?
That was really good. I always say this, and people that have been with me a long time, don't allow other people to determine if you're successful or not.
Mm-hmm. They're not going to pay your bills.
They're not going to pay your bills. They don't care, really. They don't really care, or they're jealous. And the faster you get over that, the better off you are. And if you're not, there's still times where it digs at me, and I'm like, you know what? I just got to let it go and move on. If it still bothers you over and over and you can't get out of it, you really need to focus more on the development of your mindset than anything else.
Yeah. And you know what? You are going to have people that are going to sting you the wrong way, and it will piss you off. Or something, you be pushing for a huge goal. Like, I'll give you an example. Last year I was pushing for the party to go to Success Club, and I missed it by one friggin' point. And I was so upset. But the thing with personal development, and I'm not saying you can't feel anything, and a lot of these books say it. If you want to know a book that's specifically talking about how to see the bigger picture and unlock your feelings, you should read something like Jen Sincero, You Are Badass. She talks about how to see the bigger picture. And then same with, I can't remember the name of the book, but there's another one. Talks about the bigger picture, because it's natural. Oh yeah, it's the Girl Code girl. I'm reading her Fabulous and Fearless one. It's a self-help. She's a coach. She's an actual coach. And she talks about these steps to unlock yourself and push yourself to your bigger goals. and why, you know, everyone's going to have fear. So even in fear, while you're fearful of, you know, hitting that friend request and setting off that invitation, saying, I can do this, I'm going to do this. Like, you can't be fearful so much when you're saying, I can, I will, and smiling. You can't. Your mind just doesn't think that way. And again, I picked this up from books. But I was so upset about this. And I was like crying. And, you know, you're going to feel your emotions. You're going to go through them and you should feel them. But then after a day, you know, maybe everyone's different. Maybe it's going to be a couple hours. Maybe you're going to be a day. But if you're riding that sulking train for a week, you better give yourself a good kick in the butt and get to the root of the problem, because you are your biggest obstacle right there. Okay. So that's just my little tip on that. Because again, everybody needs different stuff for their own heart and soul. So I can't tell you, read, you know, 10X by, you know, yeah, I read that book. I liked it. But after like and that's the thing. I always read a book more than once. You never pick up all the gems all at once. You read it, then you read it again. Then you put that book away, and then you read it a month later, and you're like, shit, that's speaking to me right now. And you're just like, yes. And you feel all jazzed up. So that's why you could have an Audible library full of maybe only 30 books or maybe only 10 books, right? Again, one each new month, you're buying a new book. But you have those books, and then you're feeling, you know, I'm feeling this way today. You plug into whatever book you need to fuel you up. And even if you re-listen to it, sometimes you're like, whatever. But then sometimes you're like, yeah, how come I didn't hear this the last time, right? So anyway, that's kind of what I was going to ask. Oh, did someone have a question? I didn't see it. I don't know how this.
No, Kristen just said you have to read PD. That will help you in your weak areas for sure.
Yes, 100%. yes. You are so right. So right. It's like I said, everybody's going to have their own struggles. Maybe you're awesome and focused and excuses on your issue, but maybe hearing no is your problem. Then you need to hear those books about seeing the big picture, persistence, and then you will be successful, right? So, okay. Anyway, I could talk for a while.
That was awesome.
You're welcome.
All right. And next up is Jillian. Jillian is talking about how to overcome that salesy feeling.
Yes. And Tara, you know my internet connection. So if you have to, like, just take over. You know me well enough to hinder me and take over if I freeze, okay? Because I'm just going to, like, call it a night if I freeze. I'm done. Go to bed. Okay. So I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about not feeling salesy, right? Because everybody is intimidated or scared of going towards their friends or the people that they're talking to or whatever and feeling salesy. They don't want it to scare them off or you don't want them to feel like they don't want to join you because they're buying a product. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about the first time I was introduced to Beachbody. And the person that introduced it to me didn't really, actually Tara introduced it to me and I got sidetracked big time. So this person introduced it to me and she didn't really feel the product. She didn't really care about the product much. So I bought it from her and I failed miserably because it was just kind of like, here's what I have for you. That's it. That's all I'm going for. Right. And then I came across Tara again and I bought a challenge pack and I signed up as a coach and I soared. I flew. I did amazing with it. And the reason why is because, one, my mindset on how it was, and two, how Tara feels about it. To Tara and to a lot of us coaches, it's not a product. You're not selling someone a challenge pack. Like, change the name of the challenge pack and say you're selling a lifestyle. You're selling someone a chance to change the way they feel about themselves. You're selling a mom a chance to get away from her everyday life and have time for herself for 30 minutes, 45 minutes a day. You're selling something for somebody to help coach other women out there or other men or other people that are like them. You're not selling just containers and Shakeology and a DVD. You are selling a lifestyle. You are selling, I don't want to sound cheesy, but you're selling your heart. You're selling how you feel, your passions to these people. So that was the two differences, right? Like, one person was just like, here's my products. This is how I feel about it. And then the other Tara was like, no, she had this fire in her and she was like, no, I want you to feel good, Jillian. I want you to do amazing things for people. I want you to be a good mom. I want you to, you know, all these things. And I thought, yes, I want that. And I'm going to give it to other people. So if you go out there and you're thinking, I'm going to sell you containers, Shakeology, and DVDs, then you're going to sound salesy because that's what you're putting out to people, right? But if you are selling why Beachbody products have changed your life, or why fitness, or why healthy eating has changed your life, that is what is going to come back to you. So I'm going to give you like 3 tips that I use when I'm posting. When you post about a product, don't be like, here's my Energize, I love it. You know, like, don't be like, it has this ingredient and this ingredient. It's great. Inform people of the product, but let people know how you feel about it. I love Energize. Like, I'm pumped up. I'm going to go run 10 miles and then do my dishes because Energize pumps me up. Clearly, I've had my Energize today. Or I love Shakeology because I have a hard time fitting in meals every day and I need some superfoods that's made me feel awesome. Or I love 22-minute hardcore because I only have 22 minutes in a day and it gets my workout in. So then people are like, yes, I love that too. So when you're posting about the product, don't post just about the product and put a picture. Post about you. How do you feel about that product? How has that product changed your life? And people are going to want that. They're going to want that feeling. They're going to want you as their coach. They're going to want to join you in those challenge groups. That is what people are looking for. So when you're posting, now messaging people, right? We all hate that. You're like, what do I say to them? Do I, you know, and so this is what I do. This is just me personally. When you're messaging people, don't lead with the product. Don't message someone and be, again, like, here's 21 Day Fix. It comes with containers and DVDs and Shakeology. Would you like to try? I have a challenge group. I'll help you with menus, right? You are going to talk to them. Get to know them a little bit. What do they need? You're going to fill out their needs first. Do they need something that's quick? Do they need help with nutrition more? Do they need help with workouts more? Do they need help with accountability? What do they need? And then you find a program based on their needs. And there is promotions and those help you help with sales sometimes. But if it's not fitting for that person, don't sell it to them because it's not going to last. It's going to get you your challenge pack sale. That's it. They won't be lifetime. They won't convert into coaches. They won't want anything else to do with it. So always remember that there is sales, but if it's not fitting for the person you're talking to, just encourage them to invest the extra $20, right? So when you're messaging people, don't lead with the product first. Lead with what those people's needs are and then find the product for them. You guys remember, Beachbody spends probably thousands, millions, Tara, of money on infomercials and advertisement and whatever on the products. That's not what people are looking for. People are looking for the person, for someone to reach out to them and say, I've got your back. I can help you through this. I've been through it. I'm here for you. That's what people want. That's why you're a coach. You're not a salesperson. You're a coach. You are just lucky enough to have amazing products to give that person. They just have to purchase it, right? And then the last one is be a product of the product. If you are a new coach, what you're going to do to sell that product is, like I said, just share your story on Facebook. Talk about your challenge group that you're in. Talk about the Shakeology, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, what it felt like that day that you tried it, what it feels like when you get done with your workout. Share that. If you are a coach that is stagnant, I was stagnant 2 months ago, and I was like, what the heck am I doing wrong? I wasn't being a product of the product. I wasn't doing my PD every day. I wasn't fulfilling my bucket so I could help other people. I wasn't eating clean. I wasn't following the diet plan. Listen, I was shoving donuts and like burritos in my face like it was nothing, right? And then I wasn't doing my workouts as much. So you need to be a product of the product. So if you're a new coach, share about it. If you're stagnant right now as a coach, you're a top coach or emerald coach or whatever you are, wherever you're at, if you're stagnant, take a look and are you being a product of the product? Are you living the life that you're trying to sell people? So that is my whole thing when you don't want to be salesy. Don't sell products. sell a lifestyle, and we have the products to help you with that lifestyle. The end. Beachbody does all of the advertisement for you. Let people in on your journey, on your story, on what's motivating you, and they will come. They'll come because that's what people want. They can look at Shaunti on TV all day long. They want someone that can relate with them and be next to them every single day. And Shaunti and Autumn and all those guys are just bonuses to help us out because we can't work out with that many people at once. So if you have any questions, you can either type them in right here or you can message me. Tara, what's so funny?
So awesome. It's so true. 110%.
I'm done. My energies just wore off. I'm going to go to sleep now.
I just had something to point out, or not point out, to add to.
Go ahead, Carla.
Oh, okay. That was really good, Julianne. Really good. Sorry, she may have been laughing at Weston. He was getting in there trying to feed everyone chips. But what I was going to say was, and not to be salesy, is I've been trying this new follow-up technique. And I just wanted to say, when you follow up with people, don't be salesy there either. Just genuinely follow up, and in your message, sneak in like, hey, I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow, or I'll check in with you tomorrow and see how you're doing, right? Make sure you follow up with them the next day and just say like, hey, I'm just checking in with you like I promised. How are you doing? Did you have a chance to take a look at the video I sent you? Or did you have a chance to whatever they were supposed to do, right? To follow up. And so I've been doing this, and the guy in the video said you have to follow up 7 to 10 times. And I'm so bad for this, because by the time the second follow-up comes around, I begin to feel retardedly like, oh my God, I'm pushing or salesy, or I felt like that. So I would just stop following up with them because I'm like, oh, they haven't answered me. So I thought I'm going to push through and try this. So I followed up with someone, like he said, in just over a week. And by the 5th follow-up, I had people. Yeah, and you know what? It would be like follow up the next day, follow up the next day, follow up 2 days, follow up 2 days, follow up like a week later, and then another week later, you know, like to space it out like that, so you're not just following up every day like a crazy person, because that's what I thought he was meaning. And so just by doing that and genuinely checking in with them and seeing how they're doing and just not making it salesy. If you need ideas, I can help you. But by the 5th one today, a girl actually said to me, she's like, hey, thanks for following up with me and checking in. I've been meaning to get back to you, and I can't join the challenge group because my friend just became a coach and I'm going to go with her. So at least I got my answer from her, and she was appreciative that I was following up with her. And then someone else followed up with someone else, and I think it was her 3rd or 4th time. And she was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I've been meaning to hit enter and I forgot. Thanks for checking in with me. And then we started the conversation again. So I just wanted to point out, like, the follow-up, sometimes you feel salesy there, but that's where you need to reword your wording and actually push through, because those people are forgetting to message you back. Life is crazy. And if you don't do your, due diligence, then you're not helping them get started on their health and fitness journey, or you're letting that person fall through the cracks and another coach will pick them up because they want help, but they may have just lost connection with you. So that was my last little tidbit.
Yeah, and Carla's going to talk more about that. She's in our boot camp, so we can share like actual scripts and stuff, like examples, and they're just examples. It's not like you're going to talk about you're always relating the conversation to what you've talked about before. So we will include all of that in that boot camp. But it's so true. The follow-up, it's key. And even just being on their page and liking their stuff too, it reminds them to respond. If they see your name over in the notifications and you're reaching out and following up, it's going to remind them. So many times I start a text back to someone and then I forgot. And then I thought I entered, I thought I responded, but I never did, because I'm in the middle of 50 million things like everyone else. So don't take it to heart. Just move on and then follow up the next week or whatever. And we'll give you like timelines and stuff in that boot camp thing of how we all do it. But that was awesome. Thank you guys. Okay, and last up is Kristen Renner. Now this girl is the first person I thought of when I saw time management and organization. Not to say that we're all like but she has it down way better than any of us. Like this girl has it. She used to be a teacher, so that probably plays a little bit of a role in why she is consistent and she's organized. So, Kristen.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks, Tara, for asking me to chat with everyone a little bit. I try my best in the area of time management, but I think as with anything else, I'm really good at it some days and really not good at it some days, but I am excited to share what I have been doing because it's been working well for me for the past couple years. Okay, so whenever you think about time management, I just want you to think about life in general for a second and how we all have so much going on. You know, you've got your coaching, you may have your regular job, you may have a family, then you have your life responsibilities like doing the laundry and cleaning your house. And it's all a balancing act, right? It's almost like, when you think of like a juggler, when someone is learning how to juggle 3 or 4 balls at one time, they truly suck at it, right? And you have to do lots and lots and lots of practice and refine your skills in order to become an excellent juggler. So life is kind of that way, and so is coaching, okay? We have a lot of different things going on in coaching at one time. And I kind of break it up into 3 different things. So you are simultaneously trying to keep up with your current challengers in the groups that they're in. So any groups you have going on, challenge groups, free groups, maybe your team group, keeping up on Tara's team, that type of thing. Then you have your power hour, that time of day you have set aside that you are trying to move your business forward and talk to new people, right? And then if you've been a coach for any amount of time, then you might have some people on a team that you're trying to lead as well. So you've got 3 things there that you're really trying to juggle and keep in balance. And it's really, really important that you sit down and figure out how you're going to balance those out, like how much time you're going to dedicate to each one every day so that you don't get out of balance. Because if you put a lot of emphasis in one area and not the others, something's going to slack. It has to be in a good balance or else you're not being an effective coach, okay? So with that, what I want to recommend is sitting down and deciding on some goals for yourself, and then deciding how much time you want to spend on coaching based on those goals, right? You can't expect to be 15 star and do 1 hour's worth of work every day. So they kind of have to correlate. And in that time that you've decided that you're going to spend towards coaching, you have to be very, very focused and very intentional about how you are using your time. And part of that is deciding how much time you're giving to each of those different things within coaching. You can't, like I said, you can't give too much in one area or everything else is going to fall by the wayside. And I think the trap that a lot of newer coaches get into, and I know this happened for me, was like you get really excited about this project you want to try, or you get really excited about a group you want to try or whatever, and you're putting all of your time into that instead of focusing on that power hour and putting in doing those daily to-dos that are going to move your business forward, right? You can't be doing all that other stuff, but not constantly moving your business forward. So what I have tried to do is chunk out my time throughout the day. And this is a huge thing for me. Like, this is what has really helped me get all of those to-dos in every day, is to chunk out my time. So I'm kind of going to walk you through how I do that. And obviously how I do it might not mesh well with your schedule or whatever, but what you can do is kind of take my ideas and apply them to your situation, and hopefully this will help. So I chunk my day out into 3 specific times. I have a morning time that I work on coaching for a little while. Then I have my power hour time. And then in the evenings, I have like a little bit of time where I kind of tie up the loose ends for the day. And so those are my 3 times. And for the most part, outside of those 3 times, I am not on Facebook checking my groups, okay? And the reason being is in the beginning, I was not that way. And what I found was I was driving my husband crazy because I was on my phone constantly. And then I was driving myself crazy. Like, I got to the point where I was so sick of being on Facebook and so sick of like constantly checking in and checking my notifications that like I couldn't bring myself to get on Facebook. And hello, that's what we do as coaches. So you can't get to that point of being so burnt out. You have to figure out how you're going to compartmentalize your time so that you can be the most effective with the time that you're spending. Because you guys, the thing about this business is there's always going to be more to do. Like, bottom line, you could always be doing more. So you have to decide on a specific amount of time you want to spend. And then when that time is up, you walk away, because guess what? It will still be there for you tomorrow. I promise. And if people aren't willing to wait overnight to hear back from you, then they're probably not the right people for you. Okay? We all have lives and we all have to prioritize. And we're all juggling all of this stuff at once, and we have to try to keep it in balance the best way possible. All right. So I'm going to break down how I do my day, and I hope this helps. So like I said, I try to compartmentalize my time. So I basically have a time in my day where I focus on me. So my workouts, my PD, my Shakeology, and checking in with my current groups, okay? Then I have a time in my day that I block off for moving my business forward. Moving forward with new friends, new conversations, that type of thing. And then in the evenings, I tie up any loose ends. So in the morning, what I do is I get up, I sit down and drink my Energize and do my PD. So I do some prayer time at that time, because you're supposed to wait a little bit before you start working out when you're drinking the Energize. So I do that. Then I work out while I'm listening to more PD. So that kind of goes in hand with what Carla was saying about listening to your PD. It is like killing two birds with one stone. And when you work out while you're listening to PD, you feel like you're on top of the world. You're like, damn, I'm a badass, because you're like feeding your mind, but you're also doing this awesome thing for your body at the same time. It's amazing. And it makes the time go by so much faster. So I do those two things. And then I focus on my current groups. So I go into, and I have a handful of them right now. So I actually have a list that I work off of and just check it off as I'm going through, or else I get sidetracked, okay? It's important. You have to be intentional about your time. So make a list. And I check in with each of my groups. So I will start with the first group. I will go back. In my groups, we do daily accountability check-ins on your nutrition, your workout, and your water and PD. So I go through the post from the day before. I like everything I see. I quickly scan through it. Like, I kind of do a drive-by, okay? And then maybe 2 times a week, I will really read through those really well and comment back, okay? That's what I found to be most effective. You can show your support by liking it so that they know you've seen it, all right? You don't have to read every last word posted in the whole group. So I like everything. Then I go in and I actually check in myself. And the reason for that is that I want my challengers to know that I am in this with them. I'm doing my workouts. I'm working on nutrition. I'm doing my PD just like them. Okay. I want them to know that. So I do my check-in. Now, mind you, like today was Monday. So this morning when I got done with my workout, I went to Sunday's check-in and checked in. Okay. And by that point, usually everyone in my group has already checked in. So I can kind of be the last one to round out the day. And then after I check in myself, then I post the new check-in for the day. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense, Tara? Okay. Then I go through the rest of the group just to see if there were any posts I need to catch up on, any questions I need to answer. So I do that in each of the groups I have going on. And then I post on my personal or my like page. Okay, so I do all of those things in the morning. And then I repeat the next day. So tomorrow morning I'll do my workout and my PD. Then I'll go into my groups and I will check in for Monday, post the new check-in. So I really only have one dedicated time every day where I am spending a good amount of time going through my accountability groups and checking everything out, making sure we're all okay there, okay? Now, my challengers know that if they need something from me, they have my cell phone number. They can text me if it's like really super urgent and they need help with something. Otherwise, they know that I'm going to pop in like probably 2 times a day. And I think that this is really important, you guys. You are setting the expectation for how much you're going to be in the group. So if you start the group off checking your phone every hour to see what's going on, then that's what they're going to expect, okay? Because most of these people have never done an accountability group. So you are setting the tone. If you tell them, I'm popping in twice a day, if it's urgent, send me a text, then they will. You set the tone, okay? Don't let these groups rule your day. You have to be in charge of your time, okay? It's really important, or else you're gonna get burnt out. Okay, so then in like mid-afternoon is when I do my power hour time. And I am a stay-at-home mom, so I have that, you know, I'm able to do that. But I know a lot of you do that in the evenings. Whenever you have your power hour time, that is the time that I really hone in and focus on just moving my business forward every single day. You cannot skip this and expect to be, oh my gosh, what's the word? A great coach, a succeeding coach. You cannot skip this part. So during my power hour time, if you look at the power of 3s that we use as a team, you'll see that I've already done a bunch of the things on the power of 3s for the day because I've already done my workout, my PD, drank my Shakeology. I've already checked in with my groups. I've already checked in with my team. Now I'm just focusing on moving my business forward. So I add new friends, I start new conversations, I do my follow-ups, I do any invites, and then I kind of create any other posts I'm going to make that day and kind of schedule those for later on. So that's my power hour time. Like I said, focused on moving my business forward. And then I also answer any messages that I have. All right. And if you compartmentalize your time like this and try your best not to be checking things constantly throughout the day, you will be on your phone so much less. And you guys, it creates a sense of freedom, honestly. And you can still be a highly effective coach doing this, I promise. All right, and then in the evening, usually after I get my kids off to bed, I eat an evening snack and I will sit down and get on my phone and just do tie up any loose ends. Like if someone placed an order and they want me to check to make sure it looks right, or if a coach has a question that needs to be answered, anything that's urgent and needs my attention today, that's what I take care of in those evenings. And that might be like 20 minutes. A lot of times I will do one last post after my kids go to bed because every parent in the world gets on Facebook whenever they're ready to relax in the evenings after their kids are in bed. So that's when I will maybe do my last post for the day. But those are my 3 set times. And outside of those times, I try my hardest to focus on all those other things in life that I'm juggling, okay? Because we have this coaching thing going on, yes, but we also have a life going on and kids and a family. And you have to just compartmentalize it or you go crazy, okay? One more tip that I have really quickly, I know we're running long, but I also try to look each week. And for me, it's a little different because I'm a stay-at-home mom, but what I would recommend for you guys is to look at your schedule for the week and see if you can carve out like an hour or 2 sometime during the week for like miscellaneous things, okay? Because we have this daily to-do list that we have to get through every single day and you can't put it off. But sometimes we have these grand ideas or, I send check-in emails with my challengers once a week. Stuff like that doesn't have to be done on a daily basis, that can kind of wait until a later time. I make like a miscellaneous list of things that I want to accomplish, things that just pop in my head that can be done sometime, like make a team calendar or whatever. If you can carve out like an hour or 2 each week for that type of stuff, then it's not stuff you're spending your time on when you should be focusing on your power hour. You see what I'm saying? So carve out a little bit of time for those miscellaneous things. So Tara, I think that's what I've got.
That was amazing. Thank you, Kristen. You guys, it's so true too. You set the expectation not only for your challengers, but for your coaches as well, because guess what? And I fall into this trap tremendously. When you're asking someone about the coaching opportunity and they're a challenger, or they're seeing you on Facebook 24/7, they're going to say, I can't do what you do. I don't have that much time on Facebook, or I don't have that much time because of what you're doing. You know, if you're in a challenge group and you're constantly on it, they're going to be like, I can never coach with you. I can never do that. They don't, you know, so you're doing yourself a disservice. Not only you're going to drive yourself crazy, but what you're showing other people that you want on your team, right? So I definitely can take a lot of tips from Kristen. Just ask my husband. But thank you, Kristen. That was incredible. And I know a lot of people are going to listen to the recording because they probably couldn't write down everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, this is running long. I definitely just want to wrap it up really quick by keeping it simple. Keep your business simple. Just like what I posted in our team page. Push play, drink your Shakeology, read or listen to some personal development, have conversations and build those relationships, celebrate others, and then duplicate. And you're doing it every single day. And you're teaching your team to do the same thing. If you break it down and think of it like that, it is simple. It is simple. What we do is simple, but it's also simple not to do. If you follow what Kristen said and kind of carve out a schedule for yourself, you're going to love this business. You're going to thrive in this business, and it's not going to take over your life. Coaching is not your life. You're doing it to create a life for yourself, for your family. You might be doing it as a hobby for fun. So put a schedule together so you can enjoy it. Okay? But it was a great call. One thing I want to leave you with, if you're having trouble with inviting, if you're having trouble with presenting the business, we did a great series. It was a 4-part series, and it is in our YouTube channel. It is, I'll post the link in our team page again if you don't know it. I think we actually have it in the file section as well. But watch those videos. We all share our tips in there. Watch those videos. You will learn something. Okay, guys.
Can I say one quick thing?
Yeah.
So, guys, a lot of you are newer coaches, and this can be a lot of information at you at once. So I just want to remind you that we all started where you are right now, and we all sucked really bad at juggling, and it just takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of failing and, you know, refining and fine-tuning your technique. But one day, very soon, you will be a master juggler, right?
Yes. It's trial and error until you find what works for you. But you'll be a master juggler. I love that. All right, guys, have a great night, and thank you for all hopping on. I'll post the recording in our team page. Bye, guys.